Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into an incredibly fascinating piece of source material based on a very famous gospel story. But we're going to look at it through a really specific lens. We're talking about a moment where human expectations were just completely, utterly upended. You'll see why the immediate priority wasn't what anyone in the crowd actually thought it should be. Instead, we're zooming in on the absolute priority of inner healing. Let's get right into it. So, to really understand this, our source text drops us right into a super compelling scene. A paralyzed man is brought to Jesus by his friends. Now, I want you to put yourself right there in the shoes of the crowd that day. I mean, everybody is watching. Everyone is absolutely anticipating a purely physical miracle, right? They fully expect Jesus to just look at the man's body and heal it right there on the spot. But it really begs the question, what happens when we don't get the healing we expect? Because Jesus does something entirely unexpected here. Now, what's really interesting to look at here is this stark contrast. On one side, we've got exactly what the crowd expected, a physical healing. They wanted this visible, immediate fix to an external problem. But look at what Jesus prioritized instead, inner healing. Rather than instantly addressing the man's physical paralysis, his very first words are, "Take courage, child. Your sins are forgiven." I mean, wow. He blows right past the physical expectation and goes straight to the internal reality.
Section 1. Wounds of the Heart. Why Inner Healing Comes First.
So, what's the actual reasoning behind this unexpected priority? Well, our source text gives us a profoundly empathetic definition here. Why on earth did Jesus start with forgiveness? It's because he knows that our deepest wounds aren't always physical. Sometimes the most profound, agonizing struggles we carry aren't visible to the naked eye at all. They're buried deep, deep within our hearts. Jesus prioritizes inner healing because he sees right past those external symptoms straight to the core of our pain. He knows that true, lasting restoration absolutely has to start from the inside out. Okay, let's dive into this next part. Section 2. Hearing Jesus today, taking courage in our daily lives. You see, our source text doesn't just leave this as some ancient historical event. It actually bridges the gap directly to us today. First up, it addresses the students, the Bosconians. Just think about the daily internal battles a student faces. Okay, it's not physical paralysis, but it is navigating the heavy discouragement of low grades. It's dealing with painful misunderstandings with friends, or just mistakes you've made along the way. It's carrying that heavy, nagging internal wonder of, am I actually good enough? To you, Jesus' command to take courage applies directly. He sees that internal wound of doubt, and he addresses it first. Next, the focus shifts over to the educators. The source deeply recognizes the totally unseen weight that teachers and mentors carry every single day. Shaping young minds, that is a massive, incredibly tiring responsibility. And let's be real, there are days when all that effort feels entirely unappreciated. That's a deep internal exhaustion. But the really beautiful takeaway here is that Jesus offers his love and his mercy before asking you to do anything else. He intimately knows the struggle of the educator, and he prioritizes healing that fatigue with his love. Finally, the text speaks directly to the parents out there. It acknowledges how you quietly carry all these heavy hopes and constant worries for your children. You are making sacrifices every single day, and honestly, a lot of the time, you do it without any recognition at all. But Jesus intimately knows these silent sacrifices. He sees those hidden fears. And just exactly like he did for the paralyzed man, he looks at your internal reality first and simply says, take courage.
Section 3. The Power of Community. Becoming the Mat Carriers.
Now, inner healing, while obviously deeply personal, very often requires the help of others. The text reminds us of something huge. The paralyzed man couldn't reach Jesus by himself. No way. He desperately needed his friends to carry him. And then the source poses this incredibly poignant reframing question. Isn't this what a Catholic school is meant to be? It really challenges us to look at an educational institution not just as some factory for academics, but fundamentally as a place where we help one another get closer to Christ so we can actually find that inner healing. And this brilliantly breaks down exactly how we do that in real life. How do we literally become the mat carriers for each other today? Our text outlines it super clearly. Number 1, students, Bosconians, you carry the mat when you actively encourage your classmates instead of tearing them down. Number 2, educators, you carry the mat by continuing to guide with patience and compassion, even on the really hard days. And number 3, parents, you carry the mat when you support your kids not just in getting good grades, but in actually growing their faith and character. Because when we act with this kind of kindness, forgiveness, and prayer, we become exactly like those faithful friends in the gospel story. We literally bring each other right to the source of healing.
Section 4. Gifts for the Journey. Preparing for the Eucharistic Sacrifice.
The source text brings all these profound lessons right into the present moment of the Mass. So, the crucial point is how we actually apply all of this as we celebrate the Eucharistic sacrifice. The text suggests we ask the Lord for 3 very specific, simple gifts to help us on our spiritual journey. First, we ask for a heart that trusts in His mercy, because we have to recognize that inner healing always begins with trust. Second, we ask for the courage to rise after every single failure. Because let's face it, we are going to fall, but the healing is found in the rising. And third, we ask for the generosity to help others walk closer to Him, to truly step up and be those mat carriers for the people in our lives.
And that brings us to our final thought. The source text leaves us with this incredibly powerful, personalized call from Jesus. It is really the ultimate summary of why He prioritizes inner healing. Before absolutely anything else, He wants to restore our hearts. May we all hear Him personally saying to us, no matter what invisible heavy weight we happen to be carrying today, take courage, rise and walk with me. Just imagine what would actually happen in your life if you truly let that inner healing begin today. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and as always, keep learning.